It wouldn't be an episode of Raw without the World Heavyweight Champion, and this week was no different as Gunther made his way to the ring to discuss his upcoming title match against Goldberg. The ring general was evidently unimpressed by the video package WWE aired earlier in the night, saying, "Just like his matches, summed up in 3 minutes for you." Gunther delivered several brutal lines about his opponent, and then rather fittingly asked, "Who's next?" as Gunther continues to look past the Hall of Famer. The answer is seemingly Seth Rollins, as he made his way down to the ring with Paul Heyman in tow. The Visionary teased a cash-in on John Cena in Saudi Arabia, but Rollins insists that wasn't his intention. According to him, the real reason for the trip was to sabotage CM Punk's title match. He described his custom briefcase as a weapon aimed at both champions and hinted that Gunther could be his next target. Rollins didn't get time to torment Gunther any further though, as Punk hit the ring to try and get revenge. However, an eye rake from Rollins allowed him to escape and sprint away through the crowd. The situation angered Punk, and he shoved Gunther to the mat, which left the ring general furious. However, even though Rollins escaped the clutches of Punk, he ended up walking into a beating from LA Knight instead. Following the segment, LA Knight vs. Seth Rollins was announced for Saturday night's main event. Punk was later shown backstage telling LA Knight to get to the back of the line for a shot at Rollins. He also said he had unfinished business with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Gunther before Knight told him about the upcoming Saturday night's main event match, which clearly annoyed him. The walls are closing in on Rollins at the moment, with this behavior as of late creating him tons of enemies, and it was confirmed that he will face Knight at Saturday night's main event, giving the SmackDown star a chance to end the situation once and for all. Overall, it was a brilliant segment. It featured 4 different storylines while teasing a 5th between Punk and Gunther. It's an example of maximizing television time while proving that not everything needs to be accomplished with long, drawn-out promos. That being said, it felt like there were too many shows and overlapping storylines for fans to keep track of everything. On top of that, despite being on Raw, it's unclear why Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed didn't come out to help the Visionary when LA Knight attacked him. Dominik Mysterio continued to push his injury backstage on Raw by flashing a doctor's note, which AJ Styles looked over hilariously. However, no matter how frustrated Styles is that he can't get his title shot, he cannot touch the Judgment Day member until he's medically cleared, as Mysterio revealed. It's clear that WWE is going to turn this into an angle to gain even more heat on Dirty Dom, who is pulling out all the tricks to remain a heel despite the fans cheering him lately. It's something that will work too, as fans will be desperate to see Styles get their hands on him. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Speaking of injuries, it was recently confirmed that Chad Gable is currently sidelined, making a brief backstage appearance this week alongside the rest of American Made. Gable passed the reins to Ivy Nile, telling the Creed brothers to follow her lead, while Adam Pearce wished him luck ahead of surgery. Ludwig Kaiser was once again seen lurking in the background, prompting Pearce to joke that fans wouldn't be seeing El Grande Americano for a while, but in a surprising twist, the masked luchador did return later that night, though something felt different. The returning Americano appeared noticeably taller and leaner than before, with a body structure that closely resembled Ludwig Kaiser's. Fans also picked up on subtle changes. His calm, graceful demeanor backstage and deliberate walking style bore a striking resemblance to Kaiser, rather than the hyper-animated presence the character once had under Gable. Adding to the mystery, Kaiser has been showing up in multiple backstage segments in recent weeks, especially those involving Gable. In fact, during the June 23rd episode of Raw, Kaiser was seen lingering in the background just moments Gable was attacked by Penta, a moment that ultimately led to Gable's injury. The timing has sparked speculation that Kaiser has been involved in this storyline from the beginning. Then came the cryptic post. On X, Kaiser responded to the rumors by writing, "What's all the fuss about?" A vague but intriguing message that raised plenty of eyebrows. The fact that he even addressed the speculation suggests there's something to it. Kaiser wouldn't normally respond unless he had a reason, and this subtle nod might be all the confirmation fans need that he's now playing El Grande Americano following Gable's injury. What do you think? Is Ludwig Kaiser really behind the mask? Or is WWE pulling a clever misdirect? Let us know your take in the comments below. In one of the most physical matches fans will see anytime soon, Rusev and Sheamus went to war on Raw, adding another chapter to their rivalry and pushing each other to their limits. Both men finished the match with welts and bruises, with each answering the other's best shots with another as they held nothing back inside the ring. The former League of Nations stablemates showed no love for one another with their aggressive in-ring style, which was clear when Sheamus rocked the Redeemer with a huge jumping knee. The action then spilled out of the ring as the two men refused to let up, and Sheamus was able to deliver a brutal brogue kick here. However, he couldn't capitalize on it, and back inside the ring, Rusev responded with a poke to the eye. His underhanded tactics didn't end there though, as Rusev drove Sheamus' throat first into an exposed turnbuckle before nailing the Machka kick to get the win. The ending did provide some confusion though, as Rusev pulled back the steel from the ring post and pushed Sheamus' throat into it, yet there was no disqualification. A move like that feels like it should be illegal, or is there an unwritten rule that it's allowed, like how they sometimes get away with the exposed turnbuckle? It certainly makes you wonder where the line is when it comes to DQ calls in WWE right now. In classic Sheamus fashion, they were able to deliver a banger, although the ending not being clean means that this feud is likely far from over. Rusev and Sheamus were once part of the League of Nations, and during commentary, Michael Cole also named Alberto Del Rio, a former champion with a controversial past and a rocky history with WWE. Del Rio left WWE in 2014, returned for a brief second run, but both stints ended under questionable circumstances. While he has shown interest in a return, WWE reportedly has had no plans to bring him back. The rare mention of Del Rio has sparked speculation, but it's worth noting he recently lost the AAA International title to El Hijo del Vikingo, who appeared on Worlds Collide, while Del Rio was left out. In women's action, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria put together a hard-hitting match. The former tag team partners showed no signs of being friends in what proved to be a brilliant back-and-forth encounter as they hit each other with their best shots. The two women then exchanged roll-ups, which led to the referee hitting a 3 count. However, fans were no clearer as to who the better woman was, as both of their shoulders were on the mat. Jessica Carr announced the match was a draw, but that didn't settle things for either woman, instead leading to a pull-apart brawl between them in the stands. The draw didn't help matters when it came to the Women's Intercontinental title either, as the winner was supposed to challenge Lynch. This led to more questions than answers for the fans, although a triple threat match will be inevitable at Evolution. It'll likely be fantastic, making up for the past few weeks of matches that haven't been clean. That level of chaos continued during a backstage segment as Sami Zayn was viciously attacked by Karrion Kross, who used a pipe to attack his ribs. It indicated that this feud is far from over, with Kross demanding that Zayn tell him the truth about his dark side. Kross showed everyone how aggressive he can be as officials had to rip him off Zayn to stop the beatdown. Despite the backstage attack, Zayn showed his underdog spirit by turning up for the main event. He stood alongside Penta with taped up ribs to compete against Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. The babyfaces started strong, however. Reed and Breakker quickly targeted Zayn and worked over the honorary Uce for the majority of the match as they shut down all of his attempted comebacks until he made the tag to Penta. The luchador brought a burst of pace and energy to the ring, delivering a DDT to counter Breakker's attempted gorilla press slam, and Zayn then helped by suplexing Reed. However, he was cut in half for his troubles by a brutal spear from Breakker, which ended the match. Getting the win wasn't enough for them though, as Breakker and Reed beat down Zayn until Jey Uso hit the ring with a chair to level things out, as the babyfaces ended up standing tall to close the show. It was a great main event that really leaned into the heel and babyface dynamic, highlighting Zayn's toughness, while Penta continues to prove he's one of the top stars in the company. Meanwhile, Uso had to prove himself as a megastar and send the fans home happy. Interestingly, Corey Graves referenced Alex, who is Hall of Famer Rick Steiner's old hand puppet, which was the call of the night as he continues to entertain fans on the main roster again. Now, before the main event, Paul Heyman told Bronson Reed that Seth Rollins had already left on his private jet and instructed him to execute Plan B, but what exactly is Plan B? One possibility is that Rollins plans to bring in new members to strengthen his group, with the latest episode of Raw ending with Bron and Reed outnumbered until Jey Uso stepped in to save Sami Zayn and Penta. It's clear the odds are stacking up. That could push Rollins to recruit fresh allies, and names like Ethan Page and Ricky Starks have been floated as potential additions. Another possibility is that Plan B involves a major heel turn. WWE has been subtly teasing a darker shift for Sami Zayn in recent months. If any of these names were to join Rollins, it could dramatically reshape the power dynamics on Raw. So whether it's new allies or shocking turns, Rollins' Plan B could be bigger than anyone expects. What do you think? Sound off in the comments below. Elsewhere, Monday Night Raw featured a huge title change this week as Finn Balor and JD McDonough are the new World Tag Team Champions, claiming the titles for the second time after dethroning The New Day. It was a fantastic tag team match with the crowd firmly behind Balor and McDonough. Balor sealed the victory with a decisive coup de grace on Xavier Woods, bringing the match to a strong finish. The victory earned them a massive pop from the fans, and they took another set of titles to the Judgment Day. This tremendous tag team match showcased the potential of a babyface run for the Judgment Day, even though they have been brilliant heels for so long. It appears there might be a crowd ready to accept them as babyfaces. WWE certainly treated them that way too, as they were treated to a huge pyro display when they posed with their newly won titles at the top of the ramp. Raw opened with Rhea Ripley fresh off a hard-hitting win over Raquel Rodriguez at Night of Champions. She received a thunderous ovation in Pittsburgh, but the celebration was short-lived as Women's World Champion Io Sky quickly interrupted. Sky revealed that Adam Pearce had given her the right to choose her opponent for Evolution, and she picked Ripley. The Eradicator warned that whatever happens at Evolution is what Sky chose, making the match official with an intense stare-down. While the bout promises to be physical and high stakes, this segment didn't quite hit the mark. Ripley nearly repeated herself during a promo slip-up, but managed to recover and close it strong. Fans will be hoping the match delivers more than this underwhelming segment. A major update was announced for the women's tag team titles, with Finn Balor playing a key role. Raquel Rodriguez will remain champion, but Liv Morgan is being replaced by Roxanne Perez. The new duo must now defend the titles at WWE Evolution in a fatal four-way against teams from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. With plenty of options on the table, who do you think should represent each brand? To close things out, tensions flared between A-Town Down Under during a commercial break. Grayson Waller avoided talking about Austin Theory and instead praised the New Day for dropping dead weight like Big E, hinting that a split from Theory may be coming soon. The breakup seems inevitable, and that wraps up Raw from Pittsburgh, but fans in the arena got a bonus as the WWE also taped the July 4th edition of SmackDown right after the show. Want to hear the full spoilers from that episode in our next video? Let us know in the comments.